I know that you are the needed change in my life. I know what you mean to me. Is how this person feels about you. Good day, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to Milk Honey Rose. I am Mystic Alchemy. Thank you for being here. So this person needed a change when it came to relationships, because it's like they noticed. I said noted. It's both. They noted and noticed a pattern in their life. They kept doing the same thing, and to them it was dumb. It's like now that they look back on their past self, they're like, that was dumb. Why did I do that? I don't know why. You know? I think now they know. Now they know why they continue to do the same thing. They realized that there was something inside of them that needed to change. Because, what is that saying? To do the same thing and expect different results is insanity. I believe that's how it goes, the saying. And that's what they were doing. So they started to look at themselves like I was insane, because I kept doing the same thing, expecting something different. They were out of alignment at that time. They were not within their divine alignment. They weren't on their path. And they could tell, at least eventually, they were able to tell that they were not in divine alignment. Because every time they got into a relationship prior to you, it was always a disaster. Something would always happen that was just like left field. And not only do they feel like they were just making bad choices, they feel like it's because something inside of them was broken. Something needed to be repaired within them, within their thinking, within their perspective. So they started to take time with themselves. They began to self-reflect when before they didn't even think about self-reflecting. They didn't think it was a thing. It's like they didn't think it was important. They didn't think it had any... I want to say they didn't think it was a reason for it, or they just didn't know about it at all. This could be someone that is around a lot of people that just make decisions based off of impulse. So them being exposed to that way caused them to become acclimated to that way of being, even though it was not favorable for them. It was just because it was in their environment. So it's like, oh, let me just do this because everybody else is doing it. Until they realized that that way is not good for them. It wasn't really working for them. Excuse me. It took them to really sit down and think, give themselves time to think with no interruptions, to backtrack on decisions that they made and outcomes that were had, so they can finally say, you know what? I need to do something different because this is clearly not working for me. Maybe it works for everyone else that I see do it, but it doesn't work for me. So they changed. They changed inside first, and then their relationships began to change. And then they encountered you. And being in your presence, it illuminated even more the fact that they were crazy to have even dealt with what they used to deal with. At least that's how they feel. Because they know they didn't necessarily have to go through what they went through. They're realizing that most of what they went through was because of the choices that they made. So now they're also in this space of taking accountability. They're like, okay, so that was me. I did that. I can't blame anybody else for what I did. And now that they see that, they're thankful. It feels like they give gratitude to being able to focus because they were out of focus for so long. And it's like they had a wool over their eyes, is how they feel. Because when they think back on it, they still have those moments of, how did I allow myself to get that bad? How did I even get that bad? Like, how did I even allow that to happen to me? It was just a learning experience, though. One thing about that is when you awaken and you realize where you went wrong, it does cause you to, you can even find it comical. Those are those points where you can find crazy experiences from the past comical, because you're like, what was I even thinking? And that's how this person is feeling. So now that they have you, they definitely feel like they've changed for the better, finally, because they never really had the chance to say that, especially regarding relationships, because they kept attracting the same energy. So now they have a reason to love. They were putting too much energy in situations that weren't in alignment, and it was confusing and distorting their perception of love. So they started to give up on love because they just felt like it wasn't for them, but they didn't realize that it's just that they needed to do some shadow work so that they can attract the right person and repel those that are not right for them. They're realizing now that they allowed those energies in because they could have said no, but they didn't. But now they know better. So if you deem this energy as suitable for you, as someone who you would appreciate in your life, especially being that they know the power of self-reflection, drop it down in the comments below. This is my future love. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you feel in my vibe, especially if this message does resonate with you. If you would like to book a healthy conversation, you can by visiting www.milkhoneyrose.org. And also, you could join the membership for additional content. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you in the next one.